The Byzantine Empire, the eastern continuation of the Roman Empire, has long fascinated historians and enthusiasts alike. While the grandeur of Constantinople and the reigns of Justinian and Heraclius are often discussed, the true stories of the Byzantine military, the backbone of the empire, are frequently overshadowed. These soldiers, commanders, and their strategies were central to preserving the empire for over 1,000 years, but many of their victories and losses remain buried in history. At the heart of the Byzantine military was a combination of Roman discipline and innovative strategies. Unlike many of its contemporaries, the Byzantines were not just warriors, they were tacticians. They perfected the use of Greek fire, an incendiary weapon that terrified enemies and altered the course of sieges. Their cavalry, known as cataphracts, were heavily armored and capable of charging with devastating impact, blending shock tactics with strategic planning. The empire faced threats from all sides: the Persians in the east, Germanic tribes in the west, and eventually Islamic caliphates that sought to carve out their dominion. The military had to be versatile, able to defend fortified cities, wage sieges, and respond swiftly to raids. Yet, despite their prowess, many battles, even significant victories, are now forgotten, erased from mainstream historical narratives. Generals like Belisarius, known for his campaigns against the Vandals and Ostrogoths, and Narses, who led the empire to victories in Italy, exemplified the skill and cunning of Byzantine commanders. They relied not just on numbers, but on intelligence, terrain advantage, and psychological tactics. Siege warfare, ambushes, and strategic retreats were tools just as valuable as swords and shields. Byzantine military culture was also deeply tied to religion and governance. Soldiers were often motivated by a sense of divine duty, and emperors personally oversaw military campaigns, linking politics directly to battlefield decisions. The empire's longevity owed much to this combination of disciplined military structure, innovation, and the ability to adapt to changing threats. Yet, despite these achievements, many battles, some decisive, have faded from memory. What we know today comes from fragmented chronicles, archaeological evidence, and accounts of the empire's enemies. This episode delves into those forgotten battles, exploring the strategies, the heroes, and the consequences that shaped the Byzantine Empire's fate. The Byzantine Empire is renowned for its ability to withstand sieges and reclaim lost territories. One of the earliest examples is the siege of Dara in 530 CE. The city, located on the frontier with the Persian Empire, was considered a linchpin for Byzantine defense. The Persians, confident in their numbers, launched a massive assault. Yet, the Byzantines used ingenious fortifications, counter-mining tunnels, and well-coordinated archers to repel them. This battle, though pivotal, is often overshadowed by larger conflicts in history books. Another notable engagement was the Battle of Sirmium in 537 CE. The Goths, seeking to expand their influence, faced a Byzantine army led by skilled generals who understood the terrain intimately. Byzantine forces employed ambushes and feigned retreats, luring their opponents into traps that decimated their numbers. Though the Goths retreated, the battle left lasting scars on both sides, shaping subsequent military campaigns. As the centuries passed, the empire faced waves of new threats. The Arab-Byzantine wars of the 7th century were not just about territorial expansion, they were a test of endurance, strategy, and resilience. Countless skirmishes and small-scale battles occurred along the eastern frontier, many of which remain largely undocumented. The Byzantines relied on rapid communication, fortified outposts, and mobile cavalry units to respond to these threats. A defining feature of Byzantine warfare was their ability to adapt. Greek fire, often deployed from ships, was a weapon that could turn the tide of naval battles. Fortifications were continually upgraded, with layered defenses designed to withstand prolonged sieges. Commanders understood that victory often depended more on planning and deception than sheer force. Despite their innovations, many of these engagements are lost to history. Archaeological digs occasionally reveal remnants of fortresses, weaponry, and even mass graves, hinting at the scale of forgotten battles. The stories of soldiers who fought valiantly, generals who devised brilliant strategies, and civilians who endured the horrors of war remind us that history is far more complex than the textbooks suggest. While the Byzantine Empire's military prowess was formidable, internal strife often undermined its strength. Civil wars, succession disputes, and power struggles between emperors and generals weakened the empire from within. These conflicts sometimes determined the outcomes of wars more than battles against external enemies. One example is the Battle of Cleidon in 1014, during the Byzantine-Bulgarian Wars. The Byzantines, under Emperor Basil II, faced fierce resistance. Victory came at a cost: strategic brilliance combined with political ruthlessness. Basil II's actions, while effective in battle, also fueled resentment and instability internally. Civil conflicts elsewhere in the empire often diverted resources, leaving frontier cities vulnerable to raids. Mercenary armies played a complex role in Byzantine warfare. While providing much-needed manpower, their loyalty was often questionable. Political and religious motivations could clash with military objectives, leading to battles being won yet strategic opportunities being lost. Internal revolts, such as those in Asia Minor, frequently drew the attention of the empire away from external threats, giving enemies an advantage. Religion and politics were inseparable from warfare. Emperors claimed divine authority, and battles were framed as holy or righteous campaigns. This intertwined the fate of the empire's spiritual and military life, creating both motivation and tension. The intricate bureaucracy, combined with local allegiances, meant that every battle had layers of complexity beyond the immediate clash of armies. As the empire progressed, the constant struggle between internal stability and external threats defined its survival. Forgotten battles, where internal betrayal or political missteps decided outcomes, are a testament to how fragile even the mightiest empires can be. These conflicts remind us that history is not just about armies clashing, it is about strategy, leadership, and the human elements that influence war. The Byzantine Empire's forgotten battles offer lessons that resonate even today. Military strategies developed during sieges, cavalry tactics, and naval innovations influenced later European armies. Commanders learned that adaptability, intelligence, and resourcefulness often mattered more than raw numbers. Archaeologists uncovering Byzantine ruins continue to shed light on these battles. Fortresses, weapons, and ancient documents reveal the scale and ingenuity of warfare. Heroes once lost to time are now recognized for their skill, bravery, and leadership. These stories of forgotten battles provide insight into a civilization that survived for over 1,000 years despite constant threats. The legacy of Byzantine warfare is also cultural. Artifacts, literature, and chronicles preserve the memory of strategies, conflicts, and the experiences of those who lived through war. Greek fire, for instance, became legendary not just for its effectiveness but for the aura of fear it created. The empire's ability to integrate technology, tactics, and psychology demonstrates the timeless nature of strategic thinking. These forgotten battles also serve as a reminder: history is often incomplete, shaped by those who record it. Many victories and losses have vanished from mainstream narratives, yet their impact remains. They influenced borders, cultures, and the rise and fall of empires that followed. In conclusion, while the Byzantine Empire may no longer exist, its battles, recorded and forgotten alike, echo through time. They tell stories of resilience, innovation, and human courage. By exploring these conflicts, we honor the memory of soldiers and generals whose actions shaped history, even if the world briefly forgot their names. Though many battles are forgotten, their echoes still shape our world.